Okay. So yesterday we were talking about this bubble sort algorithm. There first we started with the normal bubble sort algorithm. We studied that part. Then in that algorithm, in the inner loop, we modified this portion, right, in order to do a better performance. Still, there was some lacuna in bubble sort algorithm. What is that lacuna? That lacuna is that it was seen that suppose let me take one array. Suppose, fine. So suppose in pass 0, that is the first pass, I will compare what? First I will compare this and this. I will see that swapping is required. So 14 and 16, 5, 6, 8. Then I will compare this and this. I will see swapping is required. So 14, 5, 16, 6, 8. Then I will compare this and this. Swapping is required. 14, 5, 6, 16, 8. Then I will compare this and this. Swapping is required. 14, 5, 6, 8, 16. Fine. In pass 1, what will happen? I will start comparing this two. So 5, 14, 6, 8, 16. Then I will compare this two. 5, 6, 14, 8, 16. Then I will compare this two. 5, 6, 8, 14, 16. Right? Fine. In pass 2, what will happen? I will compare this two, no swapping is required. I will compare this two, no swapping is required. I will compare this two, no swapping is required. I will compare this two, no swapping is required. So what I see that in pass 2 only, that is after 3 passes only, we get it what we are desiring, that is our entire array is sorted. We do not need to run this algorithm anymore. But according to the bubble sort algorithm, if there are n number of elements, there must be n minus 1 comparisons. But here, according to this array, I am seeing, according to this array, I am seeing just after pass 1, 2, from third pass, just after just checking in the third pass, we do not need the fourth pass. We do not need the comparison, because at the starting of this pass only I am getting what I have desired for, that is my entire list is sorted. But in the bubble sort, according to the logic which we have written, it is mandatory that if there are n number of elements, n number of comparisons are required. It will do it. But if any pass we do not require anymore, that is, suppose if in pass number 2, each and every adjacent pair I have compared and I have seen that there is no swapping in pass number 2. So after the result of any pass, if there is no swapping done in that particular pass, then I won't be needing to go forward. Yes or no? You tell me. If suppose in a pass I compare each and every element and I see that there is no swapping done, then what will I understand? You tell me, what will I understand? बेटा तुम्हारा वॉइस बहुत ब्रेक कर दिया, और एक बार बोलो, सुनाई नहीं दिया.
मैम सॉर्टिंग हो चुका है इसका मतलब?
यस, इसका मतलब है ऑलरेडी स्वॉटिंग हो चुका है, इसलिए हमें स्वैपिंग करना ही नहीं पड़ा. तो जब ऑलरेडी स्वॉटिंग हो ही चुका है, हम n-1 कंपैरिजंस तक जाए क्यों? फॉर नथिंग, हम कंप्यूटेशंस करे ही क्यों? सपोज ये ही छोड़ दो, सपोज एक एरे ले लो, ऐसा वाला कोई एरे दिया गया है. सपोज दिया गया है, तो ये एरे भी तो ऑलरेडी सॉर्टेड एरे है, तो इसके लिए भी अगर इसके मुताबिक चलते हैं, स्टिल वी विल बी नीडिंग like 1 2 3 4 4 elements, so 3 passes, but we are saying after the first pass only I can determine that the array is sorted. I should not go further. For this reason, in order to break the loop, that is, whenever I will get a complete pass where no swapping is needed or done, then I need to break that inner loop. And for this reason, the concept came to impose a flag variable or a counter variable. This is not like the register you people do in your like digital classes. Not that counter. It is a concept like one counter will be there which will be set to 0 or 1 depending whether the swapping is done or not. If the swapping is not done, it will be set to 0. If the swapping is done, it will be set to 1. And whenever I am doing something, I will check. I will check what? I will check the flag counter, that if the flag counter is already set to 0 after everything, then I will understand that it was set to 0 initially. After running my program also it is 0. That means swapping हुआ ही नहीं है. That means the array is sorted. So I will break out of the loop. And if I see that it started with the flag value of 0 and after the swapping concept or logic is applied, the flag value is changed to 1, that means that swapping has been done. I will move forward. क्योंकि ये हो सकता है कि इस pass में swapping is done, so the next pass also maybe the swapping is done or may not be. But if any pass I get the flag value has remained 0, that means swapping has not been done after that pass also. That means I won't be anymore doing the, or I won't be anymore running the loop. Okay. So now if I improvise this, where should I set the flag counter? This is the question. Now I will write that. The logic will be same, whatever we have understood, just a small inclusion. Acha, one thing more, since in this class a lot of mixed students are there from different colleges, but it's not like only the people who physically know me, they can ask questions. Anyone is free to ask question if you have not understood. Okay, I will be clearing your doubts. So you are free to ask questions, any one of you. Okay. So what I will do is I will include a flag pointer, right? So here my flag will be first 0, right? I am not writing those things, huh? Whenever we take one variable, we also declare that variable. We already know that, right? So I am not writing anything of that sort. I am only writing the logic. And here, before starting the swap, I will set my flag as 1. Now, can anyone say that why before starting this swapping, I have set this flag as 1? Why here I have written and not after the swapping I have done?
मैम क्योंकि अगर वो कंडीशन ट्रू हो गया इफ वाला तब वो स्वैप करेगा ही.
Right. If this condition is true, if this condition is true and the cursor or the part of the loop is entering this loop, that means the swapping is necessary. So first thing we will do is set the flag counter to be 1. So this will indicate that my flag is 1, means the swapping is done and the swapping logic is applied and the swapping is done. So whatever is going on doing has been doing. Now the thing is, here one extra line of code will be there. That means after this if and before finishing this for loop, before finishing the inner loop, that is inside the inner loop at this stage, after this if loop is finished here and this inner loop is finished with this bracket, so between these two there will be a line that if my flag is equal to 0, this mean will what? This will mean that my swapping has not been done. Then I will break out of the inner loop. I won't be continuing the inner loop further, right? I will break out of the loop and whatever is in my outer loop, it will be printed. If you want, you can give a return statement over here. If you do not want, you do not give. If you are using it as a function, you may give the return statement, or if you are using it in the same program, not as a separate function call, you do not need to give. But these two are the lines of code which you need to include just before you finish this inner loop, because comparisons तो inner loop में ही हो रहा था, comparisons outer loop में नहीं हो रहा था, इसलिए हम लोग यहाँ पे लिखे नहीं. इनर लूप जहां पे फिनिश होगा, जिस ब्रैकेट से इनर लूप फिनिश होगा, उस ब्रैकेट से पहले हमें ये डालना है. ठीक है? So in this line I will write this, and after in the next line I will write this bracket, and in the next line I will write this bracket. Okay? So this is one optimized bubble sort where I will make use of a counter or a flag which will indicate that whether the swapping is anymore needed or not. If at any pass the swapping is not done, then it will automatically break. Since break is given, just like the switch break concept you have learned in like array chapters, a break is given, this break will forcefully get it out of this inner loop. If the break was not given, क्या होता? ये यहाँ पे चेकिंग करता, फिर से यहाँ पे j++, फिर से नेक्स्ट, फिर से j++, ये करता ही जाता जब तक ना j लेस देन n-1 - i ये कंडीशन जब तक ना फॉल्स हो. पर हमें उतना तक जाना ही नहीं है. अगर हो गया है, स्वैपिंग नहीं हुआ है, मतलब we will break from the inner loop and we will simply print the array. Our array is sorted. Now, is this entire concept clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, since the bubble sort, optimized bubble sort is over, we will move on to the next sorting, that is the selection sorting. If time permitted, I will just finish this sorting. I will just finish this sorting algorithms. I will make you understand, and then if time is there, like after 2 classes, suppose in the next week, I will try to implement this and show you also in Dev C++, okay? So that you people understand it also better. Suppose one array is given like this. अच्छा, अभी ये थोड़ा ध्यान से देखना है. अभी थोड़ा थोड़ा करके हम थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट में घुसेंगे. अच्छा, कैन एनीवन से दैट व्हाई द नेम बबल सॉर्ट इज गिवन? देयर मस्ट बी अ रीजन फॉर दिस नेम, राइट? व्हाई द नेम बबल सॉर्ट इज गिवन?
मैम, क्योंकि जो हैवी वाला एलिमेंट होता है वो सबसे लास्ट में होते जाता है हर एक पास के बाद.
यस, इसलिए उसका नाम गया है बबल सॉर्ट. जो सबसे बड़ा बुदबुदी होता है वो ऊपर उठ के फट जाता है, मतलब वो लास्ट में जाके अपने आप प्लेस्ड हो जाता है. इसका नाम सिलेक्शन सॉर्ट दिया गया है. ये सॉर्टिंग समझने के बाद आई विल ऑल्सो एक्सप्लेन व्हाई द नेम इज गिवन. फाइन. अच्छा, सपोज वन एरे इज गिवन टू यू, सो द नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ओवर हियर इज 6. Now the concept of selection sort is very simple. The thing is, you will consider this array virtually, you will consider this array to be segregated into 2 sublists. out of these two sublists, one part of the array is always unsorted and another part of the array or the sublist is sorted. Fine. So if I ask you and if I ask you to name, so consider, 1 minute. 1 minute, okay? My DigiPen has hanged. Right structure also. Okay. So this part is the unsorted part, unsorted sublist. And from this part, that is this, sorry, just the opposite I have said now. This part considered to be sorted sublist and this part considered to be the unsorted sublist. Sorry, my Zoom automatically it was restarted. Again, I need to draw, okay? Wait for a minute, please. Wait a minute, okay? Just... Mehfooz, please like switch off your video because it is coming over my whiteboard and I would be able to see my own whiteboard. Okay. Fine. So this is my array. So this part of the array I will think to be sorted and this part of the array starting from here to here I will think to be unsorted. Okay. Now the concept is from this unsorted sublist I will find out that which is the minimum element. And that element I will be swapping with the element at the starting location of my array. That means from, if I write it here as rule numbers, from the unsorted part, find minimum element. And when you find the minimum element, swap it with the element at the first location of array. This is the rule. This is the rule how this entire selection sort algorithm works. Okay. The rule for working bubble sort was comparing each and every adjacent pairs, and the rule for working of selection sort is always select the minimum element from the unsorted sublist and swap it with the element which is at the first location of the array. Fine. So for my first pass, I am starting my first pass. And when I find and can anyone tell me how do you find the minimum element from an array?
हम compare करेंगे.
Right. So for finding minimum element, what we have learned, the basic thing which we have learned is हम लोग पहला वाला एलिमेंट ले लेते हैं अपना मीन बोल के कुछ वेरिएबल में and we do the linear search and sequentially I go on comparing. If at any point the last element which I will get which is lesser than my first element, I will toggle the two, right? This is the way we find out the minimum element in an array. the program which we have learned in class also, which we discussed in class. Same logic is applied over here. So what I will do when I am starting to find after, suppose this is my, for after pass 1, this is my unsorted list. What did I say? From the unsorted list, you need to find out the minimum element, right? So from the unsorted list, which is the minimum element?
1.
1. So you need to exchange 1 with which location?
7.
7. Right. Oh,
7.
right. Wait a minute, beta, my DigiPen again is. Okay. Are you able to hear my voice now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Again, I will have to draw it. So my array was fine. This was my array, and at the first place, this was my unsorted part, and this was my sorted part. So I will do what? At the first pass, I will do what? I will select which is the minimum element. Now from this entire array, this is my minimum element. I will toggle or switch the location of my minimum element and the first element in my array. So now in my array, my 1 will be placed here. So my 1 will be placed over here, and then there will be 4, 10, 8, 3, and 7. And then what will happen? This is my sorted part, right? This is after pass 1. After next pass, what will happen? From this unsorted part, I will select the minimum element. The minimum element is 3. I will toggle it with the position of my first element. So my position of my first element was 3. So 10, 8, 4, and 7. Now this is my sorted part. In my third pass, what I will do? From this section, I will select the minimum element and toggle it with the first location. The first location is where the element 10. So this is my sorted part. After this pass in the next class, in this list, I will select the minimum element and toggle it with the first position. This is my sorted part, 10 and 8. I will select the minimum from here and toggle it with this position, first position of the unsorted part of the array, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 10. And even if there is one element present in my array, but I will stop. Why I will stop? Because we already know whenever, yes, only one element is present in my array, then that is already sorted. So that can be merged with the rest of my array. So as you can see, with each and every pass, I have got the successive sorted lists in my array, the sorted way in my array, right? So I kept on choosing one element and including it in the unsorted part, and from the unsorted part, I kept on finding the minimum. So if you can see, two types of loops are there. One is the outer loop and one is the inner loop. Now, can anyone say what is the work of the outer loop and what is the work of the inner loop?
Ma'am, outer loop for the pass.
Right.
Or inner loop for comparison and swap.
Yes, inner loop for finding minimum and swapping. Fine. So now we are clear with the way our program or our value has been traced, that we are interested or we will be writing our program in two manners. Outer loop will indicate the number of passes and it will move forward, and inner loop will find what is the minimum and it will swap it. So two type of loops will be there. Now, if you can remember, for the first pass, the unsorted list was from 0 to 5. From the next pass, the unsorted list is 1 to 5. Next part, the unsorted list is 2 to 5. So for each pass, one element from my unsorted list is already sorted. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The name selection sort has been given because in each pass we select the minimum element from my unsorted sublist, and accordingly I place it in my sort sublist. This is the reason why the name selection sort has been given. We are selecting which one is the minimum element. Fine. In bubble sort, we are not selecting from an entire array. So this is the reason why it is named like this. Now, here I will write the code and we will try to tally it, that how the same thing we have done. Now, since my unsorted list is from 0 to 5, so my passes will also run from 0 to 5, yes or no? So the outer pass will be for I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, I plus plus. This is my outer pass. Now inside this outer pass, I will carry on one inner pass. Now you tell me, I hope you people have remembered that whenever we are trying to find out the minimum element in an array, I already assume the first element as the minimum, and then I compare this value with each and every element to see that if I get any element which is minimum, that which is lower than that already set minimum value, then I will update my minimum value. I will go on updating. I will run this for entire array and I will go on updating. So here I will first set minimum to be whatever is in my I location. When I am starting this, I am comparing 7 with all elements. When after this pass 1, I have one sorted and unsorted part, then this is my first element. After this first pass, second pass, this is my pass element, this is my minimum element, in order to compare it to see. After this third pass, this is my first element. After this fourth pass, this is my first element. So like this it is happening. So each and every time I am setting my minimum to be whatever is present in the first location of my array. If you remember, this is the way we find out the minimum element of an array. Fine. Then inside it, after setting this, what we will do? After setting this, we are starting to compare. Now you tell me, suppose for the first pass, your I is equal to 0. So your minimum value is also equal to 0. So the minimum element is whatever is in your array A of 0. So your minimum element is 7, right? In the next class, when you have array like this, then your I is incremented to 1. For that reason, you are starting from this element in order to compare. So when your I is incremented to 1, your minimum should also increment to 1. So now your array of minimum means array of 1. That means 4. So like this, each and every time my I will increment, each and every time the first element will also update the value, and usually the minimum should also update the value. Now someone tell me, whenever my minimum was at 7, I started comparing this value with 4, 10, 8, 3, 1. When my minimum was at 4, I started comparing my value with 8, with 10, 8, 3, 7 and so on. So whatever the value of I was, the value of j to compare wouldn't be it I plus 1? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So
Yes, ma'am.
I always take the first element in my unsorted list, and I start the comparison with the second element in my unsorted list. So whatever will be in my I value, that will indicate the first element in my unsorted list. J will always start from the next element in my unsorted list, and this comparison will go till j less than n. And here also I am moving forward j plus plus. I also am moving forward to finish my array. J also I am moving forward. I am comparing and moving. I am comparing and moving. Now here, what is happening? If at any place you find out, suppose for the first pass, I will explain. For the first pass, our I equal to 0. So our mean value is equal to 0. So our A of mean, that means our A of 0 was our 7. Fine. Our J was equal to 1. Fine. Inside this, I started comparing. I started comparing that is 7 greater than 4? If it is yes, that means I am, see this line carefully. I will write it in opposite manner. 1 minute. If your A of j is lesser than A of mean, then one swapping is needed. That means our A of j means here A of 1, and A of 1 has 4, and A of mean means A of 0. A of 0 means 7. So whenever I am getting one element which is slower than the first element in my array, I will obviously update the value of mean, right? And from mean 0, I will update it to this value of j. That means now from mean, I will always update it to updated value of j. Now my mean is 1. Fine. Next, it is j plus plus. Now from j1, j will move to 2. I will compare A of 2, it is lesser than A of mean. Now my mean is j, and now j is previous. Now your mean is 1. Your mean value is not 0, it is updated. So A of 2, it is lesser than A of 1. So what comparison it is doing? That is 10 lesser than 4? No. I will move forward. J plus plus. A of 3, 8 lesser than 4? No. I will move forward. J plus plus. See, if swapping is not there, I am not changing this mean value. I am just doing j plus plus. A of 4. A of 4 means 3. Is 3 lesser than 4? No. 3 is not lesser than 4. Sorry. 3 is lesser than 4. Sorry. Whenever I find something which is lesser than the mean value I already have, I will update my mean location or my mean index. Now my updated mean index is 4. That means this is my mean index which it will refer, and accordingly the A of mean value has been updated to 3. Earlier it started with 7, then it became 4 minimum element, then it became 3 minimum element. Then again I will do j plus plus, that is 5. Is A of j, that is 1, lesser than A of mean? A of mean has now 3. Yes, it is true. Since it is true, what I will do is I will update the value of mean. And now my A mean from 3, it has moved to 1. So the last updated value of mean is 1. And again I will do j plus plus 6. Now this condition is false. 6 is not lesser than 6. My number of elements by 6. So I will come out of the inner loop. Once I come out of the inner loop, you have this value that you have traveled from 0th position to last position, and in there you have found out the minimum element, and the location of this element is 5. 5 is the location of the minimum element, and the element value is 1. Now you will do what? You will just swap. You will swap what? You will swap whatever is this in this A of mean last updated value. You will swap it with A of I. That means our I started from 0th location. So always the first location in my unsorted array, I will swap it. So the swap logic is, I will just erase it. So the swap logic is that if you have found the minimum, swap AI and A of mean. Now, can anyone tell why I have swapped AI A mean and not AJ A mean? Anyone, can you tell why I have swapped AI A mean and not AJ A mean?
AJ is variable.
मैम क्योंकि स्टार्टिंग में मीन इक्वल टू आई लिए थे।
हाँ राइट, AJ वेरिएबल उसके लिए नहीं है। तुम्हारा लॉजिक क्या था, तुम्हें स्वैप करना है फर्स्ट लोकेशन ऑफ योर एरे के साथ मीन एलिमेंट को, और तुम्हारा फर्स्ट लोकेशन ऑफ एरे हमेशा ये लूप डिनोट कर रहे हैं, आउटर लूप इज डिनोटिंग, इनर लूप इज ऑलवेज डिनोटिंग द फर्स्ट लोकेशन +1। तुम हमेशा इस वाले एलिमेंट को तुम आई में ले रहे हो और कंपैरिजन तुम इससे साथ स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, तो AJ तो तुम्हारा सेकेंड लोकेशन ऑफ एनी टाइम ऑफ योर एरे बन जा रहा है ना। तुम्हारा अनसॉर्टेड एरे में J जो डिनोट कर रहा है दैट इज द सेकेंड लोकेशन एट एनी टाइम, दैट इज नॉट द फर्स्ट लोकेशन। Your first location is this outer array is indicating, and the variable of outer array is I. So you are swapping AI and A mean. Fine. So let us just write the code now. I first wanted to make you understand. Now I will write the code. Okay. So the code was, the logic was what? If A of J is lesser than what I already have in mean, I am founding some element which is lesser than A of mean. First A of mean में मेरा 7 था, I found 4 which is lesser than, I updated. Then I found 3 which is lesser than my A of mean, I updated. Then I again found 1 which is already lesser than 3, then again I updated. So if do that, I update my mean index, because for first my mean index value was 1. For the next logic, my mean index value would be 4. For the next logic, my mean index value will be 5. So these are my indices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each and every time I found the element which is minimum, that which is also minimum that the already minimum element I have saved till date, I will update the location of my minimum value. So with this, I update the location of my minimum value. That is wherever my cursor is, my cursor was at J, I updated because 4 is lesser than 7. Then my J moved to here, then my J moved to here, then my again J moved to here. Then again my cursor was at J, which is index 4. So again I updated my mean value to be 4. Again I increased my J, then my cursor what as index 5. Then again I updated the mean value to be 5. So whenever I will get a lesser value, I update the mean cursor. And how will the mean index indicate? The value of J, where I am comparing. Fine. Now, if my mean is not equal to I, this means what? This means that somewhere inside this code, my mean value is updated, because each and every time I am starting my mean value from 0. From 0 means for the first, my I was 0. For the next, when my one element is already sorted, my I will be plus plus. So here I will start my I. So my mean will also indicate here only for this pass. For the next pass, I will start my I from this location, and my mean will also start from this location. So like this. So whenever I start my I start my J. Here I will always start my J. I start my J and I find a mean, I update it. That means my mean is not at I location. That means I have found something which is minimum that the first element which I already have. So whenever my mean is not equal to I, that means I have found one minimum element which is lesser. So I will apply the logic of swapping. And I will do what? I will swap AI and Amy. Here I have just written the swap. I have not like written the 3 lines of code. I hope using bubble sort you know how you do swapping. You set temp, you take AI, you take Amy, and using the temp variable you swap and all that. So all these 3 lines of code I am not writing. I am just writing that here I need to apply the swapping logic, right? So here my if is here my 1 minute. Okay, so here I will end this loop here. So my for loop will end over here and my this for loop will end over here, right? So this is the code of implementing selection sort. Code for implementing selection sort. Is there anyone who have not understood? The people who are following, have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is there anyone who has not understood it, how it is happening and all? I know it is a bit difficult. So what you people can do, you people please apply this logic and try to implement it. That is, after every step you start from I equal to 0, you are entering this loop. Your mean is equal to I. That means your mean is equal to 0. You are entering this loop. Your j is equal to I plus 1. That is 0 plus 1. That is 1. You are entering your loop. A of j, that is A of I, is it less than A of 0? Yes. If it is there, your mean will be j. Your j is I, so your mean will be I. So like this, you apply it at your home. Otherwise, you people won't never understand. If you don't do it at home with your pen at least, if not in your laptop, you people will never understand it. Okay. So this was all about the selection sort. Fine. So in the next class, we will start it from the insertion sort. We will start the insertion sort. Fine. So I hope you people have understood it. So this was all about today's class. Now I will share the attendance for the people of Chaibasha. And for the Dumka people, you people please write your name hyphen your department in the chat box. Okay, so I need to first edit this one because this was still. Okay, so everyone please mark your attendance. Okay.
শোনো, তোমাকে আমি তিনটে পাঠিয়ে দিচ্ছি, তুমি এই তিনটে ধরে ফরওয়ার্ড করবে।
Okay, so everyone is able to mark their attendance. Those who are able to mark their attendance, you may please leave the class. And everyone is able to write their attendance. Those who are able to write their attendance, you may please leave the class.